Hello everyone and welcome to Nervous Nessie. This video I'm going to do a review of the hotel that I am staying in for the last night of the trip, and I have it on my phone here. It is the Towneplace Suites, Pueblo downtown, and it is by Marriott. Before I do a walkthrough of the hotel, I do want to say it is right next to another Marriott hotel. The parking is, the parking's interesting. There's a little small parking lot out front between the two side-by-side hotels. Maybe holds 20, 25 cars full. The rest of the parking is to the side of, it's the Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. So this is the Towneplace. It's sitting right next to Spring Hill Suites. The parking, extra parking, starts beside Spring Hill and then wraps all the way around the back of both hotels. However, the only way to get into the Towneplace is through the front door. So you have to park way around and walk all the way around. Luckily, I found one kind of in the corner by Spring Hill Suites, but it was still a walk. So that's kind of one negative. I feel like they should have some kind of side entrance or something that you could do. But anyways, this hotel, we'll do a quick walkthrough. I'll swing the camera around here. So when you come in, you have your front door, basic front door. Right here, you have a full-length tall mirror. However, there's no light because, that looks like it should be a light, but it's not. I've pushed all the buttons, so I don't know why it's so dark over here. When you first come in, you have a kitchen. So in here, let's start with this fridge. Nice big fridge. It's not a full-size fridge, but for a hotel stay, it's, pretty big. Do have some ice trays right there, and then an ice bucket to put the ice in. Up top, you have some pretty nice cookware. It's better than what I've seen in some other places. And then you also have a toaster, glasses, and mugs. Usually when you stay at like one of these long-term places that has a kitchen, everything is in fours. 4 glasses, 4 mugs, 4 plates, 4 bowls, 4 forks. It's usually 4. So if for some reason there's more than 4 people staying, then you would have to call the front desk and get more stuff. Got some hooks up underneath there. Got your sink, got some cleaning stuff. So you have dish detergent because this one actually comes with your dishwasher. So it's a little small, cute little dishwasher. You're not going to use that many dishes if you only got 4 of everything. But if you want to do your dishes by hand, you do have that stuff as well. Ooh. That is the garbage disposal. Okay, so I do want to mention this. If you are not from the United States, you are probably not used to a garbage disposal. A lot of times in people's homes in the United States, or obviously in a hotel, it's called a garbage disposal or a compactor. And essentially what it is in the sink, there is actually, here we go. So underneath the sink, you have this contraption. If you're not sure if you have a garbage disposal where you're at, if there's a contraption that looks like this underneath the sink, you have a garbage disposal. So essentially what happens is you can put solid food into the sink, like chunks of fruits and vegetables and leftover food. You could put the food into the sink, and then you turn on the garbage disposal. There are some very sharp blades in here that chops it up very finely, and then it comes down here, and those fine little pieces of food will get flushed out. Now, why do you need that? Well, think about it this way. In the United States, there's millions of people, and we're wasteful. We are a consumerist society, and the landfills are just overwhelmed. So the less that you can put in landfills, the better. So if you can take food, which can be broken down, it's like a compost, and chop it up and put it into the water system, they can filter that out and it doesn't end up in the landfill. That will cut down on bugs and pests and all kinds of stuff, because there's not that much food in the landfill. But if you are new to a garbage disposal, because I do know that a lot of countries don't have them, a couple of rules. Number 1, when it is on, do not stick your hand in here. It will cut you severely. Also, do not take like a fork or a spoon or a knife and try to push the food down into here, because those metal blades will hit the silverware and damage both the garbage disposal and the silverware. The other rule is, before you turn this on, you have to have water running. So you're putting the food in here, turn on your water, and then turn on the garbage disposal. Why do you want to do that? Because essentially you need to lubricate those blades and try to push off all of the food off the blades, and it also will not burn up the motor of your garbage disposal. So I know that's kind of an odd thing, for me to be explaining on a travel channel. Americans were used to this, but I do know that it is not a common thing in other countries. So anytime you're in a kitchen and you see dual things, ask the person or be careful before you turn one on, because if something were in that sink, it could damage it. But this one is your little light, and it lights up all the little cubbies up top and then up underneath here, which is nice. You do have a really large microwave up here. That's a very large microwave. You have your, again, 4 bowls, 4 small plates, 4 big plates. Down here we have pot holders and a towel, and then you have your coffee and tea station. Here you have 2 dark roast and 2 dark roast decaffeinated, and 2 things of Earl Grey tea. These are so cute. You also have salt and pepper shakers, and these are essentially single use only. They're really cute. Like, I find these, just the cutest little thing. You just pull off the little tab to get to your salt and pepper, but yeah, it's a cute little salt and pepper shaker, and it's individual for you. Let's see what this one does. So that's your overhead light. Then you have a 2-burner stove here. Down below, as you saw, your garbage disposal is down there. Dishwasher down here is your garbage can. Start at the bottom drawer. Got some bowls. In here, got a colander and all kinds of little stuff for the kitchen. Then in here you have, looks like up underneath here, yep, is a cutting board. And then you have some of your basic kitchen items, a spatula, a slot, a spoon, big knife, silverware, and then your basic things that you would use in the kitchen. Then from the kitchen, for some reason you have this massive, big open space, this big wall. I don't know why. And then you have this divider here, has a cabinet here for storage. And it does have this it's kind of recessed down. I don't know if you can see that, but like my hand is sitting flat on it and my hand's kind of below, but you could put like loose change or your cell phone or something here. And you do have your 2 regular outlets and your 2 USBs, so you could charge your phone there if you wanted to. Then you have the bathroom. So in the bathroom, let's start with the shower here. You have shampoo, conditioner, body wash. You have your 2 wall organizers to put your travel items on. Looks like the shower head actually has the little turn thing for the different settings. And you have a bar to hold on to. I want to check this out because the last hotel that I stayed in, and I think this might, it won't be as bad. Okay. The last hotel I was in had a similar looking shower curtain. And when you pulled it all the way across, it was a foot short. I don't know why. Maybe it shrank. Maybe they washed it and it shrank. I don't know. But I do like that it comes all the way across because the other one did not. That's why I had to test that. You do have a hook right here. You could put your towel, and then you have this light is for over the shower, which I appreciate because a lot of times when you have a thick shower curtain like that and you close it, it gets dark in there. So I do like that it has a light in there. Then you have toilet, plenty of toilet paper, garbage can, plenty of towels, hand towels, and washcloths. Down here you have a hair dryer. You do have some tissue, kind of a small vanity here, especially seeing as how big this bathroom is. It would have been nice if they had maybe scooted this over a little and made that a little wider, but oh well. But you do have nice big mirror, and if you really need to, you have this little ledge here that you could place things on. You do have 2 outlets right there. And then this is interesting. So behind here, there's no hook on the door. So I don't know where I'm gonna hang my toiletry thing, except maybe on this. I honestly don't know what this is for. I really don't know what it's for. It's bolted to the wall. I mean, I guess you could put a towel on each thing. I've never seen that before. If you guys know what this is for, leave a comment below. I mean, my only guess is that maybe it's to hang the towels on that have been used, to where if it's, you know, multiple people in here, but I've never seen that before. You'd think that all of these types of hotels that have the suite with the kitchen, that it would be like that, but I've never seen that before. I will say I did notice a little bit of mold damage up there in the corner. So that's never good, but I'm only here one night, so I'm not gonna complain. Then from here, we have a huge cabinet. Ooh, this is nice. This is actually really nice. So you do have a mirror in here. You have an iron, which I do appreciate that they have the pad that you could put it on. And then they have a small ironing board. So instead of a full one, this is the little like 3-foot tall ironing board. And then you have plenty of storage. So you could put shoes down here. You have this little basket that you could put whatever. Maybe you have sweaters or something like that you could put in there, or you could kind of use this as a makeshift hamper. You have a smaller one, and they both come out, so that's interesting. And then you do have some storage on the top shelf, and then you have hangers as well. Looks like they have laundry here, and there's a little ledge here too, so maybe you could put jewelry, you know, men's watch or your ties, cufflinks, something like that. This is actually really nice that they have this huge setup, and that the closet even lights up, because a lot of times the closets, you know, don't light up. So I think this is going to be one of those things. Hopefully the light will go off, because I can see here the light is still on. A lot of times they're like motion censored, so I'm really hoping that light will go off soon, because otherwise I'll be up. Then you have your TV and desk area. You have your garbage can down here. Again, I love that they have the two, one for recycling, one for garbage. Your thermostat is right there. You have an outlet down there, well, two outlets technically, and then two USBs. Your phone, really big TV, which is nice. All my junk is up here, so you just have to ignore that. See, this is my souvenir bag. I have no idea how I'm gonna get all my souvenirs packed. Anyway, two chairs if you need to work, which can come in handy, because if you're on a work trip and you have coworkers that are also on the trip with you, you know, maybe you need to meet and collaborate. It's nice to have multiple chairs in the room. You do have a little shelf here that you can, I don't know, put whatever there. Got your remote, which is interesting. It stands straight up. Over here you have a little desk lamp. Then you do have a full-size lamp, chair and ottoman, and a little side table. There is your HVAC. And I'm gonna see, I have not looked to see the view here, and I may not be able to, oh, here's the view. So the view is of in between, and I know you can't, maybe you can see if I block the thing, but the view is of the hotel next door. And then you have some grills right down there, a little patio over there. It's I don't know if you can see the light and everything. Over there is a little fireplace, but I'm gonna close that. There's a guy in the parking lot looking at me like I'm weird. Next to the, I ended up again, two queen beds. One bed I sleep on, one bed I put my luggage and stuff on. Well, I don't put my luggage, I put my packing cubes on. My luggage is dirty, I'm not gonna put it on the bed, but I put my packing cubes on there so I can lay my clothes out. On this side, you do have a lamp, two outlets, and two USBs. You have this little cubby right here that you can put stuff on, and a little drawer, simple drawer to store stuff. And then in the middle here, you have a floating shelf right here, shelf there. Behind here is two outlets and two USBs, and then of course you have the lamp in the center. And then on this side of the bed, there's two outlets right down here, and it looks like the same setup over here. A lamp, two outlets, two USBs, a little cubby hole, and a little drawer for storage. Trying to see, I mean, this is a very spacious room. The light did go off in the closet. Yay, yay, that's great. But yeah, this is pretty nice. The only negative thing that I did see was, I guess, the mold up in the ceiling of the bathroom. They probably had some kind of flood up there and it, you know, trickled down to the floor below, because I'm on the second floor. That and the lighting situation over here, because yeah, this, I guess that's not a light. I don't know why that's there then. I do want to mention one thing. Okay, so this is kind of new. In a lot of hotels, they do have the little like eye hole here thing where you can look, and if someone knocks on your door, you can look out and see who it is. However, most of them, I don't know if you can see, like I can see out into the hallway, but a lot of them, if someone's standing there, they can look into your room. So they've come up with these little thing, and it hides, you know, the little peephole here. The last hotel I was in, it did not want to stay in place. It just was like off to the side and would not go down. So I just took tissue and stuck it in here, because, see if I can kind of show you from this angle. I can stick my finger in here, and so you can take tissue and put it in here and it'll block it if for some reason it doesn't come down. And I did notice this, there is 2 outlets right down there as well. Trying to see anything else I may have missed in this room. I think that's gonna be it. I mean, overall, I would say this is a great hotel. I just, you know, happen to get the one that has the mold issue, but again, I'm only here one night, not worried about it. I would say if you end up in a hotel and you do a walkthrough and you see something like that, if you're gonna be there, let's say you're gonna be there for a week, maybe say something to them about moving you to a different room. But for me, I'm only here one night, I don't care. So yeah, if you have any questions about this hotel or anything that you saw, garbage disposal, feel free to leave the questions in the comments below and I will get to them as soon as I can. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Bye.